Hello everyone, I am Bhavyasri. In this video, let's discuss about deployment. Deployment. What is deployment? Deployment means making your project available for others to use. If we, for example, we use any project or any model. Here there is example C. For example, we do any project or any model. We do that for you. You do that project or model for it will helpful to other people, right? The process of making other people's to use is called deployment. Here see, building a model. If you build any model, deployment lets others use through website, app or API. The process of making the project available for others through the website or app. Types of deployment. There are mainly three types of deployments: local deployment, on-premise deployment, and cloud deployment. Coming to the local deployment, it runs only on your own system. Local deployment means if you do any project, that project will be stored in your own system or laptop only. That is called local deployment. On-premise deployment means installed in company's server. If you do that the same project for from the company, for in the company some other peoples also use that project or model, right? That project are stored in many computers. It means in some company's server. That is called on-premise deployment. Cloud deployment. Coming to the cloud deployment, hosted on cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, Erico, etc. So anyone can access it. If you hosted. What is hosted? Hosting means a service that stores your website, app, or file on a server so that other people can access it anywhere or anytime. It means you saved your project in some local deployment cloud. For example, you stored your project for any website or something. If you want to access for anyone, it the process of making that is cloud deployment. In this project, we store the project in these platforms like AWS, Azure, or Erico, etc. Like this. Next, coming to the steps of deployment, there are mainly 5 steps. See, there are 5 steps in deployment. First, develop. Develop means build and test your applications. If you do any project, we need to test. We need to build some features or any other technologies or features and test. You have to test your project, right? uh, See, build and test your application. Next, package. Prepare files like Docker or zip, etc. It means if you want, for example, I want to share my project to anyone. It means you have to from files, based on files you have to do that as zip file, right? The processor that was a package, we call that as package. Prepare files means that call as package. Next, choose environment. Environment means there are three types of environments, right? Local, server, or cloud. I already explained in types of deployment. Like that, you have to choose the environment. And next, deploy. The main deploy means upload and make it live. Deploy means you have to upload your project or make it as live for anyone to access it and maintain and monitor updates and fixes. If you already put your or push your project to somewhere, you have to maintain that and monitor that. That means if any issues or debugs are coming, you have to fix it. And updates, you in your project you add some features or any applications, you have to update that, right? That update and fixes that called as maintain and monitor. And next, deployment in different areas. For deployment there are different type of areas. See here, web apps. See, web apps like servers like Heroku, Vercel, AWS, Netlify. See, I will explain these for in detail, okay? Well, let's take the platform Heroku. This is a type of hops. It is best for full stack app. If you do any full stack based on full stack, it best for the best platform is Heroku. and it is a back. This has the full backend support. It has the full backend support, and easily use the backend. It is especially used for backend, easy backend, and front end hosting. Next platform is Vercel. It is a hosting. It is a hosting and serverless type, and it is best for React or Next.js apps. And it has a limited backend support. Okay, and coming to the platform AWS. AWS means you already know Amazon Web Services, and AWS is a pass under last type. Okay, and it is best for enterprise apps, uh, and it has a full backend support. It is powerful and complex. Okay, and Netlify, and it is a hosting and a serverless type. It is, and this is best for static sites or Jamstack. It has a limited backend. Okay, and it is the best for static sites and small projects. Netlify is the best for small projects. Okay, and coming to the mobile apps, the above four platforms for web apps. Then coming to the mobile apps, you can push on Play Store or App Store. If you want to any mobile apps means we already know in our mobile phones. If you want any app or website, any app, we easily go to the Play Store and App Store and download or install that. It will come to our mobile like that. This is one of the deployment. And machine learning, based on the machine learning, deploy with Flask, Fast API, or Compute Cloud ML services. Machine learning, if you do any project, you have to add the both front end and back end, right? With the Flask, we have to attach both front end and back end, especially mainly with Flask, right? So these are the Flask, Fast API, or Cloud ML services are the machine learning deployments. And in short, I want to in overall deployment means what? Putting your project in a real world environment where people can access and use it. If you suppose you already do any project or any website, you if you do any project or model, you want to use other people's your project, right? The process of making your project for using other people in real world and access for those people and use it, this is called deployment. And in deployment, I especially tell about two particular topics in detail. One is environment variable. I already mentioned the environment variable in before. Let's tell in detail why why you use environment variable to hide sensitive data, which means passwords, API keys, database URL. If you from that particular project or model, you have some passwords or API keys. API key means some used for chat applications. Okay, if you want to hide anything which is sensitive data, we especially use environment variables. For example, we take two types in backend. .env file in backend, we use .env file. In that env file, we use port means 5000 and mongodb URL. Mongodb means some database app used to store the database, and the JWT secret. This is also known as API key. We can name with anything. This is one of the secret keys, so I keep this as my secret key. And MongoDB. Here we have to give your MongoDB. Uh, for long data, you use a password, username, password, or some. If for clustering MongoDB, you have some code. That's it. And this is for overall backend .env file which is stored. It is very this is a secret for who's this is very important, who are make the project. This is for those persons who has access. And in server.js, these are the three one. require .env dot configuration and constant port. These are port 5000, constant mongo url. This is for in server.js, and this is for in backend .env file. In front end, in front end variables must start with react app. In front end we especially use variables with react app api url. This is also one of the secret key. This is a local host. This is cluster mongodb. From the cluster mongodb we see this one local host 5000. And what are the benefits? The in the environment variables there, these are the benefits: security, flexibility, is different configurations for development, test, and product. And this is especially environment variables especially used for the security purpose. And another one is hosting. I already told what is hosting. It is the website who stores the website and apps from where people can access the project or any model from anywhere and anytime. I already told that. In this, there are mainly three hostings. Backend hosting, which are popular platforms. What are the popular platforms for backend hosting? Render, Railway, Heroku, AWS, Azure. I already told some of the platforms, right? And next steps. How to host your backend. First of all, you have to push your code to GitHub and connect a repository to hosting server. If you want to push your GitHub, you have to create one of the repository, right? That connect to repo. Next, add .env variable in hosting platform settings. You have to add .env variables. Next, deploy server, and after that, to get live API URL. Next, coming to the front end hosting. What are the popular platforms? Netlify and Vercel. And step process for front end hosting. Build React app. npm run build. This is the code to run your front end. Next, upload, build, or folder to hosting server. Next, connect with backend API key. If you want your output, you have to do backend also for backend running. Next, database hosting. And this is also one of the important. If you do front end and back end, and you do any application any website, that okay. But database, you have to store your database, right? So for the database, we almost use MongoDB Atlas, which is the cloud MongoDB cloud. Next, get connection string and use it in .env. .env, I already told you the .env file in environment variables, right? The .env file is especially used to store your that connected string. Next, final deployment flow. What is the final deployment flow? See here: front end, back end, database. These are the three main files, or you can also say folders or files. These are the three main files to run your project. That's all. This is the overall deployment in this video, and thank you.